Well, we're recording. Officially
Okay.
recording.
Oh, this is the run.
Officially the first few words of the Suhre Associates podcast, Vcast, Facebook Livecast, Twitchcast. I don't even know. Honest question, serious question. What are we going to call this thing? I mean, if we're coming up with all this equipment and all these ideas, what are we going to call it?
Legalese with Suhre Associates.
Oh, I'm going to have to give this some thought. This is not a shoot from the hip answer. It could be, but I'm afraid that anything I came up with would not have I would not have given adequate consideration.
What about the lawyer's table? Just throwing that as an idea out there.
That's not bad. I was kind of also thinking maybe something like
We just went full
something like
sexy with the lights off.
You got arrested for what podcast?
Ooh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then you can do like boing, 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 you got arrested for what? And the big question.
That could be a segment for sure. I like that idea.
Yes,
That would be a beautiful
kind of like
segment.
the Bill Maher's version or New Rules.
New Rule-
like
oh,
at
yeah.
the very end, he does New Rules. You got arrested for what?
Yeah, can't say that I'm familiar with that, but I'll have to check it out.
It's basically a comedy skit. That
But we get a good graphic for that. Real good graphic.
But like maybe it's something that in terms of doesn't necessarily have to be one of our cases, but maybe something like I heard about that guy who he bought a bunch of cigars out in North Carolina, and he ended up getting him a part of his own homeowner's insurance policy. So he ended up getting them insured. He ended up smoking them, and then he filed a insurance policy claim because they were destroyed by fire. And the judge ruled that they had to pay him out because, in fact, even though he deliberately set fire to the cigars, they were destroyed by fire. So after he did that, the insurance company came and gave him his check to reimburse him for the $10,000 worth of cigars.
Right.
And then the deputy sheriffs came and arrested him for
insurance fraud.
No, for
Arson. Oh.
So though, one way or another, they're going to get you.
Well, I think it's a good idea to
That was
do.
a song, actually. Can we sing that?
No, well,
Was
maybe
that Pat-
that's a
Pat-
separate
was that
segment.
Pat Benatar?
I think so.
Okay.
It was "Hit Me with Your Best Shot," wasn't it?
One way or another.
Or another.
I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, is that Pat Benatar?
I don't know.
One way or another.
Until somebody else tells me
Oh
differently. that's
no,
what I'm
it was
going with.
no. What's his name? It's who's the girl with the blonde hair?
Blondie.
Blondie. Yeah. It might be Blondie.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you kept that,
I think
we
it
got that.
shouldn't be any of our cases, right? For obvious reasons.
Probably not.
But I don't see any reason why it can't be stuff that's in the news.
Yeah,
Our cases aren't quite as
Absolutely.
interesting as that. I've
Yeah.
never had a cigar case like that before. Have you?
No.
No.
I've heard stories in terms of there's not so much comical, but one of the ISP troopers over in Indiana, over Lawrenceburg, he pulled over a gal and she stopped. He walked up, knocked on the window. She looked up at him, pulled out her rig, did the tourniquet, shot herself up with an armful of heroin, and then opened the door. And the officer was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I knew you're going to arrest me, so I might as well get my last fix in." Makes sense, right? And so in her mind,
See, that's crazy. I think what we need to do too on those is like a law case, fact or fiction kind of thing, because you hear about so many of the different, they pulled over and started pounding beers, and so they couldn't arrest them. Let's find one of those types of cases that have this weird sort of the defendant did this to get out of criminal conduct and say, yeah, okay, well, that's not necessarily the real world. Kind of like a podcast version of Snopes. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think that would definitely be interesting.
You've given me way too much to think about with the naming the podcast, and that's what I can't stop thinking now. This is definitely a take-home assignment, and I need to tear my brain.
Well, we got to, once you pick it, you got to kind of stick with it.
I know. It's why it warrants some serious thought.
Yeah, I agree with Nate. I think it's also something a little bit more unique. Lawyer's Table is not bad, but it seems kind of a little generic, a little too.
Can we do the lawyer's table as the segment that
As
is
a
for
segment. I think
as
as
a
part of a
segment for
segment.
the restaurant reviews,
Yeah.
or the food stuff or drink stuff that I want to do. Can we call that the lawyer's table?
Joe likes that name. We're going to have to call part of this.
I think we
podcast
could do
the
that. Yeah,
lawyer's
I
table.
think part of, but as part of then, like, you got arrested for what? That's another sub-segment kind of thing.
I think that's funny. I like that.
And then,
Yeah.
but the actual name of it would be,
Yeah,
that'd be something corny, like legal talk, with Suhre Associates.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
right.
It just it kind of reminds me of like an SNL skit.
Because
you know,
we were
coffee talk.
like we were
Talk amongst
talk
yourselves.
amongst yourselves. But like we were talking, this isn't just talking about what is an arraignment, what is a breath test challenge that's successful, what do you do if you're pulled over by the police. I mean, that's part of it. I think that part's interesting, but I also want to have stuff where we go out and we see like Tim at Romaldo's. I already talked to him. He'd love to do a segment with us talking about men's fashion, women's fashion. I think they're mostly a men's clothes store, but we could do a women's version where you say, okay, I'm a new lawyer or a young business person, and I don't have $10,000 to spend on a wardrobe. Maybe I've got $800 and I need to look nice for work. What can I do to maximize that money?
I was thinking maybe something, again, not just brainstorming it, like, a day in the life, a day in the life of an attorney or something like that, where the podcast is us as attorneys, but all the different aspects of being attorney in terms of obviously the legal aspects, but also social aspects. And then also, like you said, with style.
We do eat. We do wear clothes.
Stuff
Yeah.
like that. That is
We're people
important.
too.
That, maybe it's like, maybe we don't talk about your pickup basketball game because that might not be related to the business of the practice of law. But, like you said, going out to, a nice restaurant or something like that, I think that's very much related to.
Well, I think it would be fun to do an actual segment from a restaurant.
Absolutely.
I think that would be
Absolutely.
cool. I talked to a prosecutor in one of the northern counties the other day, and she and I were friends. We were just chatting about women in the criminal defense field and how there aren't many female attorneys. And I know a few. I talked to one this morning in Judge Giz's room, but I think it would be cool to do a segment about that, something serious about the social issues or the societal issues in the legal field, but also a lot of food, the lawyer's table. And you got arrested for what? I think that would be part of it too, right?
I don't know if this would be feasible, Joe, in terms of like if building off like the lawyer's table type of thing. Let's say if we do interviews that maybe we base it around restaurant or like base it around food. Like, hi, we're here at Jeff Ruby's here. We got Judge Nadel here, and then kind of talking like, so what's it like being a judge or something, and have people. I don't know if that's feasible.
I think that's a brilliant idea, right? I think we've got to talk to the folks, and we could do it here. We could do it in Indianapolis. We can do it in Louisville. I think that's a brilliant idea. Do actual interviews in the restaurants.
Yeah, and then part of it is like, say we have like Judge Nadel, we take him up to Korea House, and it's like this is a Korean snack called gimbap or something like that, or something in terms of a drink or something maybe specific to that particular not going to the same restaurant over and over, but maybe going to, like you said, mitas. Talking about they serve tapas. You guys familiar with tapas? Kind of, and then kind of incorporate that around the actual interview or whatever.
Here's my first idea. Not saying I'm married to
This
it.
You haven't heard a word we've said though.
Oh, I have. I heard you
You're
talking
so
about food.
focused on the
You shouldn't have brought it up.
I know. Well,
because
that's
now
my fault.
it's ruining
That's
me
right.
for the rest of this session. Just the facts, man.
Oh, that's good. I like that too.
That covers everything, whether
Yeah.
it's legal talk or
Yeah.
fashion,
Yeah.
or you have a guest on here. We're just talking about the facts,
Just
man.
the facts. I like that too.
And we'll have like the older generation will obviously will have connotations for them and Dragnet the
Right.
show and it's a common
Which, by the
phrase.
way, you can hear on Sirius Radio.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Nice plug.
Yeah.
They're paying you
Thanks.
For
Yeah,
that.
I hope so too.
You should be
Give me
getting
my
swag
subscription
bags,
for
yeah.
free.
Maybe we could even. I bet because the show Dragnet is so old,
Yeah.
any music they use in that show is now
probably,
free.
That would
free-
be an interesting
free,
one
free
too.
domain.
Well, let me say this. I've got little boys, and they have their own YouTube channel and like to do their kind of things, and they're panicked about copyright strikes against them on YouTube,
Right.
and using popular music to narrate or play over their videos. That would be an interesting segment to talk about copyright law as it relates to the internet and YouTube and those types of things. In this building is a friend of mine that I went to high school with, who's a patent, trademark, copyright lawyer at another firm here, and I'm sure he would come over
to talk
and
about that.
talk to us about that. Yeah.
Well, I know, like, I think reaction videos is like a big thing on YouTube. Like, they'll watch like a music video and then they film themselves reacting to the video. And there were issues in terms of copyrights that some of their segments were getting taken down. But like, you can do things like if you put it reverse.
Well, don't they call it fair use? See, now the reverse
Something
thing,
like
that sounds like a bunch of internet lore to me. That I take a CNN segment and I reverse it, so suddenly it's not a copyright violation. That sounds ridiculous.
I don't know.
I've
if
never
that's
heard of
not,
anything
but
like that.
I know that.
I think you're
that's
making it
something
up, Ron.
That somebody's made it up, I think.
Yeah, somebody made.
Here's
up their
my
own
general
law.
understanding of how that stuff works. It's not a problem until you get sued because you're making money off of it. So here's an example. Like, there was some pizza parlor in New Jersey that had like Bruce Springsteen Wednesdays when they would play his music all day, and it was like half price pitchers and, you know, buy one get one pizza free. And he found out about it, or his people found out about it, and they sued him. And I don't know if it was for damages or a cease and desist, probably was what it was like, but it was because they were using his music to make money. Most of the time, not a problem. Your kid's doing something with it, not a problem, unless they get 5 million hits.
Well, but
and then they start using it to make money somehow. Then it becomes a problem. Then it becomes an. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but on YouTube, my understanding is if you're using material like that,
They just won't post
they
it.
give you a copyright strike. If you get so many strikes, then your account gets shut down or you get banned. So it's probably a bot or an algorithm that's looking at that stuff as opposed to a real person that's complaining. So yeah, I think like in the pizza parlor example, you're spot on that while it's not necessarily lawful, nobody takes action against it.
But you're talking about is YouTube specific. You don't want to get shut out of
Right.
YouTube because you're breaking the law, even though the people whose material you're co-opting isn't interested in it. YouTube finds it legally because it's technically illegal.
Yeah, and I think it's not just from somebody reporting it, but it's probably an algorithm or an AI type assessment on it. The doodly videos that we were doing, one of the big things in the forum that I saw about that is people are getting their videos pulled from Facebook advertising because Facebook is flagging it as a copyright violation for the music. But the music is included in the subscription. You have a license to use it, but because the AI that's looking at it isn't smart enough to tell the difference, it's just flagging it and removing it. So then you've got to say, no, I've got a license for it. I'm allowed to use it, and then they'll republish it. Mary, my wife, ran into that with ads for her Faster Way to Fat Loss thing on Instagram. It was coming back and saying, no, this violates our terms of service because it was asking, what do you like? Or there was some phrasing that she was using that the automated system was picking up. She would appeal it, and within 10 minutes, they'd approve it and then publish it.
Okay.
So, interesting.
Couple names. How about setting precedent?
Yeah, that's nice. Maybe we should have a competition.
Ooh, we could
Have people
invite
submit.
viewers.
Yeah, even
Viewers
though
to vote and or make suggestions.
we literally have 0 viewers, though. So,
This is
Or we
how you
have
get them.
Maybe
Yeah.
something longer, like I broke a mirror and got 7 years bad luck, but my attorney got me off on 5.
that's nice, but that's going to be hard to fit like on a business card or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to think about
But
that.
I think with this, it should be just kind of like the lawyer lifestyle, I guess you could say, if that makes. Because I'm thinking also in terms of like, I don't know how much driving you do. Like I could do one in terms of, because I noticed when I was driving
God,
my
I drive
wife's
all
car
the time.
that it's like, what you want to get a car, and like certain things I can point out in terms of like get something with, obviously most of these come with cruise control. Getting a GPS in your car instead of having it on your phone.
Like car buying tips for lawyers that
Yes.
drive a lot?
Yes.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Something like that.
Maybe we could get sponsored
Mhm.
and they could give us cars to drive for a year, and then
Now you're
we'll
talking.
say whether they're
Now
good
you're
or not,
talking.
whether it's a good choice or not. I think that's a fine idea.
So
BMW, Mercedes, Audi.
all the little things that we use,
Right.
like I know you can.
I drive a Chevrolet. I love my Chevy.
Yeah, and you can
I hope you're getting paid for all this product placement.
yeah, and then you can contrast that with your M3, something a little more sporty. But
Yeah.
I'm sure like do you have a
Little
Tahoe?
sassier.
Or do you have a Suburban?
I have a Tahoe. We have both. My wife has a Suburban. I drive a Tahoe.
Okay, so with the Tahoe, in terms of, I found like I was driving my Jeannie's car, my wife's car. She has a little Civic. I noticed it handles a lot differently than a Lexus.
Yeah.
And the Lexus kind of almost drives itself. And there are things that, in terms of going a lot of highway miles, having to always, like I'm sure your M5 is much more sensitive as opposed to the Tahoe. The Tahoe kind of.
Oh yeah. I mean, the steering itself is 100-fold more responsive on the M3 than the Tahoe, but it's obviously a different car.
And then the guy who sold me on Lexus, I don't know if this is true or not, but he says like, because I was driving a lot.
Rock seems to have a lot of, I don't know if this is true or not, but examples.
The whole alien thing, I don't know if this is true or not, but
yeah. All right, what did the
But
Lexus
anyway,
guy say?
he was saying that with the way the Lexus is made, it was built more for higher speeds. That it's more comfortable driving at higher speeds. Where say a Civic, it's built more for local roads,
Right.
and then so it's when you're driving at higher speeds, it's a little more abnormal. Whereas driving at high speed with a Lexus is more. That's what it's built for.
Yeah.
My second suggestion.
Yeah.
Oye, oye. That's it.
Like the old school call to order for the court.
When they here comes the judge.
Yeah.
All right.
Oye, exclamation point, oye, oye, and that's it.
All right.
That's
Nate-
it.
Some people
No,
might
Mary-
not know
idea.
what.
When-
Some guys might not know what oye oye.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. We'll tell. Well, that's.
Nate's always been the idea man.
I've got my shirt ordered. It's coming
Yeah.
in the mail.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. So today is the very first. What do we call this? Season 1, episode 1. The pilot.
This is the pilot.
This is the pilot.
This is the pilot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the goal here? To do one of these a week?
Ultimately, to get syndicated, picked up by some conglomerate, so
Right.
we don't quit our day jobs.
And
and
1
just do
million
this.
subscribers.
Yeah.
So we can.
Well, aim high, right?
And then when we do that, we'll tell Michael down at Chris when we get 1 million subscribers, he's going to buy a new Tesla for the winner
There you go.
of our raffle.
All right. So what is our goal? So the goal is try and do one of these a week and bring in different guests. And we're using OBS Studio to produce this. We have literally 2 scenes. You can see me as I reach over to the laptop right here to transition between scenes. I have all sorts of other equipment to get this up and running and make it look more professional. But this is a first test run of this to see if it even works, which it appears to be working.
What about a green screen that we can say, hey, we're here in Waikiki?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got green screens that we can do. They actually have all of that as part of OBS.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're kind of marketing this not just to potential clients or former clients, but also to other attorneys.
Oh yeah, for sure. And honestly, my concept on this is not just doing it for marketing purposes, but doing it to bring value, to add value to this in a way that I haven't seen done before. I've seen podcasts or vlogs. I've seen TV shows in this type of format, but nothing specifically related or done by lawyers, because honestly,
We're pretty boring
boring
lot.
and stuffy.
Yeah, we are boring.
Yeah, I mean,
So I don't hang out with a lot of you guys after I leave
No,
the courthouse and work. I don't.
Where else except for hang out with attorneys, do you hear someone say heretofore?
yeah,
I want to slap you for just saying it here.
yeah, right.
Here and after.
Well, no, it's true though, because the level of, I don't know, the level of interest or excitement in a podcast based on law or a vlog based on law, to me personally, I'm not that interested in it, right? Of just hearing it over and over and over especially about what we do. But if you add other stuff in, I think it makes it more interesting and brings value. And yeah, hopefully it brings us a client or two. But the point of it is to bring that value.
It needs to be entertaining too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta be.
Well, we're
Entertaining,
naturally funny.
including but not limited to entertainment.
Right. Heretofore for the
Nate's
entertainment
gonna
value.
hit me.
You're 2-4.
Yeah, right? Okay. All right. Well, we have been at this for a little over 20 minutes.
20 minutes is a
And
good pilot.
Seriously?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Huh.
And I think that is a good pilot.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't want to give them too much. With the pilot, you want to impress them, but leave them wanting more.
Right.
You don't want any kind of real closure. You want them to see the possibility. I think we've done an excellent job of that.
I think so. So a good friend of mine, when we'll talk about our charity dinners that we do too at the appropriate time, but a good friend of mine that cooks with us on the charity dinners said that Thomas Keller's master class that he took online espouses the fact that you should always leave them wanting one more bite, right? So if you go to a restaurant and you're doing a tasting menu, you give them enough that they want one more bite, but they don't get it. And that creates that desire.
Is that
So
why they give you small
Don't forget
plates?
to tune in next week when we'll be having a treasure hunt and giving away a pot of gold.
Right. Yeah, one more time. All right. That's good. I think we did a good job.
You need a catchphrase sign
Oh,
off.
a sign-off. Yeah.
This is something else to think about besides the name.
Yeah. What was Jerry Springer's was take care of
Take
yourself,
care of yourself
and each other.
other. I say we sign off, and thank you, everybody. You have the right to remain silent.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Ooh.
I like that.
Ooh. I think you just nailed it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think we need to second guess that one.
All right. See ya.